Francisco Reparations Committee says this payout is to help make amends for systematic repression, defined as, quoting, intentional and unintended harms perpetrated by city policy, which, if you think about it, opens the door to pretty much everything. Now, to be eligible for the $5 million payout, you must be 18, identify as Black or African American for at least 10 years. You can also qualify if you were born in San Francisco between 1940 and 1996. Additionally, you can get the $5 million by being, quote, personally or the direct descendant of someone incarcerated by the failed war on drugs. So if you or a parent was put in prison for, say, dealing drugs from 1971 to roughly 2009, you're eligible. The proposal also would forgive home mortgages, student loans, and credit card debt because, quote, Black households have costlier or riskier debt.
All right, guys. So on this episode of Clown World, we got to go to Clown City, California, San Francisco, as they are wanting up Gavin Newsom and the state of California's recommendation in regards to how much money should Black people receive in reparations. As you guys remember, I think that the state, Newsom kind of proposed like something like $250,000 per Black resident in California for the discrimination that Black people face in housing in California. So it's not reparations for slavery, it's reparation for the alleged systemic racism that occurred in housing. Now, again, San Francisco is saying $250,000 is not nearly enough. Okay, we gotta one up them, and we're pitching $5 million, right? We're giving $5 million to each Black resident. This is what the San Francisco reparations panel is proposing. And I got to be honest with you guys from the jump. I thought that the $250,000 proposal was ridiculous. This right here is just insanity, right? I mean, this is not a serious conversation. I mean, I think everybody should understand and know that this would never, ever, ever happen for obvious reasons, okay? I don't think the city of San Francisco can afford to give $5 million to each Black resident. I mean, it's just ridiculous to even think about. So without further ado, before we read about this, let's actually listen to some of the woke revolutionaries on the panel that are trying to justify this ridiculous proposal.
It's all messed up with this. That's what has got us all messed up with this extreme, rugged, individualistic, greedy, capitalistic world.
Greedy, capitalistic world. Greedy, right? The people that want $5 million for nothing, they're calling other people greedy. Amazing. Amazing.
That has caused so many of us to be down at the bottom and only just a handful up at the top. Next thing I want to say, as an old rugged history buff, I think that we should be careful not to toot our horn, but to tell the truth. The establishment has done far too much to misrepresent our history. Instead of it being history, it was, as somebody said, his story or her story.
Oh, this dude woke. Right. This man's super woke.
And not our story. And our story about this task force from day one is that the oldest, the largest, the most feared, the most revered civil rights organization in the world, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, is the body that first broached the idea of reparations here in the city and county of San Francisco in an official way.
Yeah. So you've seen that, you heard that, right? Let's read about this. A San Francisco panel studying reparations has proposed a one-time payment of $5 million to each Black resident of the city deemed eligible as recompense for the decades of harm they experienced, according to a report on Monday. Okay. Hold on. So if you guys know anything about the San Francisco-Oakland area, you would know that these cities have basically become lawless because of woke criminal justice reform, because apparently it is racist to lock up Black people, right? So they're saying, look, we're not locking up people anymore you can just commit whatever crimes you want, and we're going to give you a slap on the wrist and let you back out into the streets. So you have a bunch of criminals who happen to be black committing these mass shoplifting campaigns, okay, where they're going into these stores, they're looting, they're taking stuff, they're stealing. And I think, in my opinion, that's enough reparations, right? That's all the reparations that you should get, okay? For people living in San Francisco, look at what's happening. They're already getting their reparations, okay? Or at the very least, the ones that commit crimes, right? They're getting their reparations. Again, it's just crazy how you have a city like San Francisco that has so many problems and issues, but yet this is the type of stuff they're focused on. They're focused on handing out free money. Again, in an inflationary economy as well, too. Amazing stuff. This is, again, leftist Looney Tunes world. Quote, a lump sum payment would compensate the affected population and will redress the economic and opportunity losses that black San Franciscans have endured collectively as the result of both intentional decisions and unintended harms perpetuated by city policy. The San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee said in a draft report issued last month. Fox News Digital reported. So by that same logic and argument, all the business owners who are getting their stores looted and robbed because of the soft on crime policies from the city and the state should be asking for reparations, right? So in the next, 20, 30 years, they should have their hands out saying, look, I need my $5 million, right? Because of all the harms that have been caused to us as a business owner by the city. Again, if this is the type of precedent you want to set, okay. But again, business owners should be able to come out with their hands out asking for that money back, right? Asking for some of that money back. Because to me, they've been directly harmed by city policy. The proposal could cost the city, which has a 2022-2023 budget of $14 billion, roughly $50 billion, the Daily Mail reported. The committee also proposed wiping out all debts associated with educational, personal credit card, and payday loans for black households. So they're just giving all these people a clean slate, right? Here's your $5 million, and we're wiping out all your debt. Again, amazing. And I guarantee you, at the very least, 70 to 80 to 90% of those people that they do this for, in 10 years are going to be broke, and they're going to have accumulated more debt. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Again, one of my biggest things about reparations is that I just don't think that it is a helpful policy. I truly don't think that it is going to solve any issues. There's a difference between income and wealth or net worth. Okay, there's people who make a whole lot of money, right, who have a low net worth because they don't know how to manage money. If you give somebody money who does not know how to manage money, they're going to lose it all. And in fact, it's probably going to make their lives even worse. Again, how many stories about lottery winners have we heard that got all this money? They never had that much money before in their lives. I mean, we're talking about $5 million. This is a lottery right here, right? And, they spend it on a bunch of depreciating assets, cars, clothes, women. And then 5 or 6, 7 years later, they're broke. They lost all of it. Again, that is what's going to happen to a majority of the people that you give $5 million to if they have no clue what to actually do with the money. Again, handing out money is not going to solve people's problems. It's not. The 15-member panel was established by San Francisco supervisors in May 2021. A separate task force created by California's legislature is also studying reparations. Again, a waste of time, a waste of taxpayer resources. The city group report said reparations must be adequate, effective, prompt, and should be proportional to the gravity of the violations and harm suffered. It added that members of the black community demand reparations not to remedy enslavement, but to address the public policies explicitly created to subjugate black people in San Francisco by upholding and expanding the intent and legacy of chattel slavery. The report notes that while neither California nor San Francisco formally adopted the institution of chattel slavery, other aspects of segregation like white supremacy and systemic repression found in the legal system, social codes, and extra legal actions were designated to exclude blacks. Okay, I'm not saying that these things didn't happen. I mean, clearly these things happened back, in the civil rights era, right? And before then. But I'm not necessarily sure if that equals a $5 million handout to every black resident of San Francisco. But hey, if they want to do it, that's on them. Long as I don't have to pay for it. If it comes out of San Francisco and their taxpayer wallets, hey, that's on them. Okay, long as I don't have to pay for it. Okay, I think this is just ridiculous. To be initially eligible, applicants must be 18 and show they've been identified as Black or African American on public documents for at least 10 years. Yeah, so if you're white, go ahead and start identifying as Black. Right? If you're white and you want to get a handout, go ahead and start identifying as Black. I think that's the new movement. Okay, identify as Black so that you can get all types of benefits. Right? Again, if you can, a man can become a woman can be a man, or you can be whatever gender you want to be. You definitely can be transracial because we're much more similar to each other when it comes to race than we are when it comes to gender. So there's no reason in my mind, since we're woke, that everybody can identify as Black and get the same benefits that a lot of these people are getting. Okay, or the proposals for benefits for these people. I'm just saying, in 2023, it's not a disadvantage, in my opinion, to be Black, considering how basically everything is geared towards righting the wrongs of the past. Okay, I'm just saying, it seems to be an advantage. They must also prove that they meet 2 out of 8 additional standards, including being born in or having migrated to San Francisco between 1940 and 1996, and having proof of residency for at least 13 years, being personally or a direct descendant of someone jailed in the failed war on drugs, or being a descendant of somebody enslaved before 1865. Yeah, so a part of the requirement is being somebody that was locked up because of Joe Biden's policies. Amazing. The committee will make its recommendations to the city in June, and Board of Supervisors President Aaron Peskin told the San Francisco Chronicle he hopes they will be approved. No, they won't be approved. I can tell you that right now. They're not going to be approved. There are so many efforts that result in incredible reports that just end up gathering dust on a shelf. Peskin said, "We cannot let this be one of them." The report does not include any estimates on the overall cost of the reparations because they don't care. They don't give a damn about the cost. But San Francisco is already reeling from a lower than expected property tax intake because of the coronavirus pandemic, and Mayor London Breed's office is predicting a budget shortfall of roughly $728 million over the next 2 years. The Real Deal reported. Yeah, so basically they can't afford it, right? They can't afford it, which is why it will never be approved. And these proposals are only being put out there as a way to keep Black people voting Democrat, right? To keep Black people on this liberal, hope train that, hey, the Democrats going to give us reparations. It's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. And you're a fool if you think that voting Democrat is going to end up with you getting a massive handout because of reparations. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And people need to stop believing in this pipe dream that reparations are actually going to happen. Look, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be for reparations if this was the Reconstruction era. If it was, I would say, yeah, Black people should get reparations. Okay, but we're 150 some years removed from slavery. I think that there is more than enough resources available for everybody. Knowledge, a whole lot of things available for everybody that, hey, you can get your own reparations if you put your mind to it. But hey, that's not what people want to hear, right? People don't want to hear that you got to work hard. You got to take advantage of what's out there in order to get ahead. No, people don't want to hear that. A lot of people just want the money, right? Cut the check. That's what they say. Cut the check. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.